Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling in the dead of night or drifting through your day, questioning whether the person beside you is truly your person? It might begin as a whisper, a fleeting thought that brushes against your mind when the initial thrill starts to wane, or during those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts. You may try to dismiss it, convincing yourself that all relationships ebb and flow, but deep down, you know there's more beneath the surface. That nagging doubt isn't just background noise. It's a signal worth heeding. Love is intricate, untamed, and profoundly human, raw in its beauty, yet fragile in its vulnerability. It shouldn't feel like an endless battle against your own heart. There's a world of difference between weathering the natural storms every relationship faces and forcing yourself to stay anchored in something misaligned with who you are. Yet so many of us cling to partnerships that don't resonate, not out of joy, but out of fear of what lies beyond. Let's be honest here. Acknowledging the signs of being in the wrong relationship takes guts. It requires looking inward with unflinching honesty and asking yourself the tough questions, the ones we often avoid because they make us uncomfortable. But when you do, you step into your power. You begin to prioritize your peace, honor your dreams, and nurture your growth. Today, let's shine a light on those signs, the ones we bury under layers of excuses or silence with misplaced hope. This isn't just about clarity for now. It's about empowering you to take control of your life and shape your future with confidence. One unmistakable sign is the feeling of walking on eggshells. If you find yourself tiptoeing around conversations, fearing how even the smallest comment might land, pause and ask yourself, is this love or is this fear masquerading as connection? Emotional safety is the bedrock of any thriving relationship. Without it, love transforms into survival mode. A space where every word feels loaded, every tone scrutinized, and every interaction leaves you bracing for fallout. Consider this. Have you ever hesitated to voice something simple, a bothersome habit, a minor misunderstanding, or even a boundary you need to set? And when you finally muster the courage, does your pulse quicken, dreading their reaction? Will they become defensive, dismiss your feelings? Or worse, twist the narrative until you're apologizing for daring to speak up? This isn't love. This is self-preservation disguised as devotion. A healthy relationship doesn't turn into a courtroom drama where you have to plead your case to be heard. It's a sanctuary where you can show up fully, without fear of judgment or retaliation. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Emotional safety begins within you. While you can't dictate your partner's reactions, you can decide how much of yourself you give to a dynamic that repeatedly disrupts your peace. Love shouldn't require you to dim your light, suppress your needs, or shrink your spirit to keep the waters calm. True love invites vulnerability and freedom. It allows you to express your truth, even when it means having difficult conversations. If you're constantly silencing your voice, abandoning your boundaries, or sacrificing your well-being to avoid conflict, you're trading long-term fulfillment for short-lived stability. And that's a price too high to pay. Another glaring red flag is a fundamental mismatch in values and goals. What happens when the person you love envisions a future vastly different from yours? Love can be intoxicating, luring us into believing it has the power to bridge any gap. But no amount of affection can rewrite someone's life script. When your core values and aspirations pull you in opposite directions, it's like trying to construct a house using two incompatible blueprints. It's destined to crumble. Take a moment to reflect on your dreams. Are they shared, supported, and celebrated in this relationship? Or do they feel stifled, dismissed, or overshadowed by opposing priorities? Your vision for the future deserves alignment, not compromise. Perhaps you've always dreamed of traversing the globe, immersing yourself in unfamiliar cultures, and savoring the thrill of new adventures. Meanwhile, your partner envisions a life rooted in stability, buying a home, cultivating routines, and building predictability. Or maybe your ambition is to scale towering heights in your career while they yearn for simplicity and balance. These aren't mere surface-level preferences. These are profound expressions of who you both are at your cores. While compromise can fortify relationships, compromising on your deepest aspirations transforms into sacrifice, and that sacrifice breeds resentment. It's not about love fading. It's about being caught between staying true to yourself or conforming to someone else's vision for your life. Imagine relationships as voyages. You're boarding the same train, but if your destinations diverge wildly, the journey becomes unsustainable. One of two outcomes will unfold. Either one of you abandons their dreams to stay aligned with the other, or you continue forward together, but one of you feels perpetually adrift, miles away from the life they once imagined. Neither path leads to fulfillment. This isn't an indictment of all differences within relationships. It's a call to honesty. Are these differences fundamental? Can you navigate them without losing sight of your authentic self? Your peace and growth should never be casualties of a relationship unwilling to nurture them. Recognizing when a relationship no longer aligns with your essence requires immense courage. Yet, every step toward reclaiming your truth brings you closer to a partnership deserving of you. One grounded in mutual trust, respect, and the freedom to live authentically. Isn't that the kind of love worth striving for? At the heart of any enduring relationship lies alignment, not just in personalities or interests, but in core values. Think of it as constructing a house. The exterior may vary, but without a solid foundation, everything crumbles. When it comes to pivotal aspects like family, career, lifestyle, and future ambitions, agreement isn't optional. It's essential. Otherwise, you risk pulling against each other, creating friction that erodes connection over time. Have you ever sat down with your partner to discuss concrete visions for your shared future? Not vague notions like happiness, but specific, tangible goals. Do you dream of raising children together, or do you crave a child-free existence filled with exploration? The philosopher Marcus Aurelius urged us to ask, is this necessary? Applied here, are you truly aligned with your partner, or are you clinging to comfort rather than confronting hard truths? Alignment doesn't demand perfection. It means your values harmonize, and you're committed to working together toward those shared dreams. Start these vital conversations early, before years pass, and one of you envisions marriage while the other dreams of solo backpacking across continents. Clarify your intentions. Be bold yet compassionate. Ask the big questions. Where do you see yourselves in 5 years? What does success look like to each of you? Are you both prioritizing adventure, stability, or something else entirely? Such dialogue reveals whether you're moving toward the same horizon or headed in opposite directions. Compromise is inevitable, yes, but there's a tipping point. Healthy compromise strengthens bonds, but sacrificing too much, diminishing who you are to preserve harmony, can unravel them. Ask yourself, are you crafting a shared vision or forcing paths to converge that were meant to run parallel? Finally, consider relationships where effort feels one-sided. Love shouldn't feel like a solo expedition. You shouldn't bear the weight of initiating plans, offering emotional support, or sustaining the relationship alone. At first, the imbalance might seem minor. Perhaps you're always the first to text or the primary planner of date nights. But over time, those efforts begin to drain you, leaving you questioning why your partner remains emotionally distant. Love thrives on reciprocity. Anything less leaves both parties unfulfilled. Love isn't a competition, but it should never feel like you're carrying the entire load alone. Relationships flourish when both partners contribute equally. If one person is constantly giving while the other takes without reciprocating, that's not a partnership. It's an emotional burden. As Epictetus wisely reminds us, focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. In love, this means accepting that no amount of effort can force someone to value or match your dedication. If you find yourself endlessly apologizing for things that aren't your fault, sacrificing your dreams, or eroding your boundaries just to keep harmony, pause and reflect. These patterns don't emerge suddenly, but once recognized, they demand action. The path forward begins with honesty, with yourself first, then with your partner. Open, heartfelt conversations free of blame are essential. Share how you feel, create space for change, and see if mutual growth is possible. But if these efforts yield no improvement, ask yourself, is this relationship truly worth holding on to? Stoicism teaches that while we cannot dictate another's actions, we can choose our response. If staying drains your energy, peace, and sense of self, walking away may be the most loving choice, not out of anger, but out of respect for who you are. Sometimes the deepest form of love is releasing what wasn't meant for you. A balanced, fulfilling relationship requires two people meeting each other halfway, every time. It's not about perfection. It's about honoring your worth and refusing to settle for less. It's far too easy to lose pieces of yourself in a relationship, especially when you mold yourself to fit someone else's expectations, laughing at jokes that fall flat, nodding along to beliefs you don't share, or pretending enthusiasm for things that leave you cold. Over time, the vibrant qualities that once defined you, the traits that made you uniquely you, begin to dim. Why? Because you fear those parts of you might overwhelm or push your partner away. Worse still, this self-suppression creeps into the core of the relationship. You hesitate to express excitement over new opportunities, frustration after a hard day, or even doubts about where things are headed. Bit by bit, you silence your authentic voice until being yourself feels foreign. But a healthy relationship should feel like sunlight streaming into a garden. It nurtures rather than stifles. Imagine a thriving garden. Every plant has its place. Some stand tall and bold. Others remain small and delicate. Yet all contribute to the beauty of the whole. Force every plant to conform, to look identical, or prune the ones that grow too high, and the garden wilts. Similarly, in a relationship, both individuals must have room to grow independently while nurturing their connection together. Stoic philosophy illuminates this truth beautifully. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Replace good man with true self," and his words underscore the necessity of authenticity. Pretending to be someone you're not robs you of inner peace and distances you from your purpose. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you felt completely comfortable as yourself around your partner? Are you hiding parts of who you are to avoid conflict or rejection? Do you feel cherished for who you truly are, or only for the version of you that fits their ideal? These questions may be challenging, but they matter deeply. After all, true love doesn't ask you to shrink, it invites you to bloom. When you trade your authenticity for approval, you're not forging a genuine bond. You're weaving a fragile illusion. And illusions, no matter how beautiful, crumble under the weight of time. Reclaiming your true self doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with quiet, deliberate acts of courage. Rediscover the things that set your soul alight, even if they don't align with your partner's interests. Perhaps it's reviving a forgotten hobby, immersing yourself in music that stirs your spirit, or voicing your truth without worrying about judgment. Every moment you choose to be unapologetically you brings you closer to uncovering the essence of who you are beneath layers of compromise. Once you've reconnected with your authentic self, invite that version back into your relationship. Not through confrontation, but through gentle invitation. Share your passions, your thoughts, and your vulnerabilities. Let your partner see the fullness of who you are. If they embrace this deeper, truer version of you, it's a sign that your relationship has the potential to evolve into something richer, a partnership where both of you can thrive as individuals and as a couple. But if they resist or reject your authenticity, pause and ask yourself, am I building a future with someone who sees only a shadow of me? A meaningful relationship isn't about losing yourself to fit someone else's mold. It's about creating a space where both people can grow individually and together. The right person won't just tolerate your light. They'll celebrate it, even when it shines differently from their own. Fear is often the invisible chain that keeps us tethered to relationships that no longer serve us. It whispers lies like, this might be as good as it gets, or you'll never find love again. So we stay out of fear, out of habit, or because we mistake leaving for failure. Society reinforces these fears, telling us that being in any relationship is better than being alone. But is it? It's natural to feel afraid at the thought of leaving. The human heart craves certainty, even when that certainty comes at the expense of joy. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Are you truly living in this relationship, or merely surviving? Fear may keep you anchored, but it cannot help you soar. It amplifies your doubts and diminishes your worth, convincing you that the unknown is more terrifying than a life spent settling for less than you deserve. To break free, start by surrounding yourself with support. Confide in trusted friends, family, or a therapist about your fears. Sometimes, simply giving voice to them can strip them of their power, revealing them as fleeting obstacles rather than insurmountable barriers. Next, invest in your personal growth. Rekindle the parts of yourself that have been neglected. Pursue hobbies, explore new passions, and take actions that remind you of your limitless potential outside the confines of the relationship. These small steps are not just affirmations of your independence. They're declarations that you are capable of crafting a fulfilling life on your own terms. Recognizing that a relationship isn't right for you is the first step towards something greater. If you find yourself hiding pieces of who you are or staying out of fear, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself honestly, am I truly happy? Your happiness matters, and the life you deserve is one where you can stand fully in your truth, unafraid and unapologetically alive. Am I truly valued here? Is this relationship a catalyst for my growth? Or is it a weight holding me back? The answers lie within you. Always have, always will. What's needed is the boldness to confront the questions that matter most. And never forget, the right person won't dim your light. They'll be the soil in which your soul can flourish. They'll create a space where fear has no foothold, only freedom. It's time to stop accepting less than you deserve. You are worthy of a love that lets you stand tall, unapologetically yourself, and fiercely alive.